Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about House of the Dragon being HBO's biggest premiere ever. It was so big, I guess, it crashed the app. And it's really interesting because if you look into the data, apparently House of the Dragon is 20 times more popular than Amazon's Lord of the Rings.
Are we surprised?
I don't think this surprises anyone. A lot of people said that they thought that the Game of Thrones prequel would actually knock out any interest in Lord of the Rings of Power, the Power of the Rings of the Lord.
Why do you keep doing that?
Because it's such a stupid name for such a stupid looking show.
Because of your dummy face. You're a dummy face.
You're a dummy poop head. Yeah, so this is interesting. We haven't seen it yet. I'll be honest, we haven't seen it yet. Now, weirdly enough, we got invited.
I was going to mention that.
We got invited to the premiere at San Diego, or not the premiere, the party. They had a big party at San Diego Comic-Con, and we weren't planning on going to Comic-Con this year.
Yeah, we got invited. Squid King's very salty that he didn't get to go because he wanted to go see George R. Martin, and he wanted to go see the Duolingo bird.
The Duolingo bird.
The Duolingo bird, but he was very salty we didn't get to go.
Live near Pittsburgh. You can see the Duolingo bird whenever you want to.
That's true, actually.
That is true.
About that, but
that is true. Anyway, let's talk about this because it's pretty interesting. You know, if you told me 25 years ago that you would have George R.R. Martin up against J.R.R. Tolkien on TV.
There's a lot of RRs here.
I would have told you you're absolutely insane, but then again, it's actually neither one because both of these are just kind of made up. But anyway, they're based on the IP. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 274,000 subs.
Woohoo!
Thank you for the support. Speaking of fantasy, see how I did that? See how I did that? You guys have been
nice.
Awesome. In less than 24 hours, we're fully funded on Crimson Wren Volume 1 graphic novel. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, and we launched the campaign stealthily last night, and it's doing pretty good. Considering we haven't really promoted it that hard other than our own videos, it's doing pretty good. So if you guys want to hop on board the True North airship, you can do so. Look at this beautiful art by Jose Garcia. Has a very animated feel. One of these days, maybe we'll see Crimson Wren on TV.
There you go.
Wouldn't that be something?
Either in the kid version or adult version.
And then someday people will bitch about our shows.
I didn't get my ship.
I didn't get my ship. Yeah, we're just gonna kill everybody off just to troll people. Anyway, let's talk about this. We'll talk about the ratings first, and we're gonna talk about the interest or lack of interest in Lord of the Rings. TV ratings: House of the Dragon is HBO's biggest premiere ever. The Game of Thrones prequel draws nearly 10 million viewers across all platforms for its series debut. That's absolutely crazy. So apparently the last season of Game of Thrones did not kill off interest in the series, in the franchise. And there still is no final book yet. But
I don't watch Game of Thrones. I never watched Game of Thrones. I'm sorry. I haven't.
I was not a huge fan. I watched some of it. I wanted to go back and actually. Okay, so here's what happened. I watched some of it. I'm like, yeah, this is interesting, but I'm jumping into it like halfway through. It was like season 3 or 4 or something, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And I was familiar with the books, but I'm like, yeah, I need to go back and start from the beginning. By the time I got around to it, the show had started to decline, and everybody was complaining about how bad it was.
So you didn't want to bother.
So I'm like, why am I going to waste my time?
Well, I know Squid King has read all the books, hasn't he?
I believe so. Yeah. He said, yeah, they're a little on the lewd side.
Great.
Sometimes. Anyway, 10 million people watched it. It crashed the app for some subscribers on HBO Max. Now, this is so weird because HBO Max is like, yeah, let's cull a bunch of properties and stuff. But they're turning out for this one. It crashed the app.
You know what else crashed the app? Snyder Cut.
It did, but you never heard about that.
No, and then they got rid of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they stopped the Snyders. I'm just saying.
Well, now they're saying, I did a video yesterday. There are rumors that Zaslav might actually reinstate the Snyderverse.
I was hearing that too.
I don't know, probably because they don't have anything else planned. They're like, well, we already got everybody cast. Might as well just go with it. So it's not known how widespread the issue has been for users, but they were tweeting about 3 minutes before the 9 p.m. scheduled release last night. Again, I haven't watched it yet. I think I'm going to watch it. I think I'm actually going to watch it.
Well, you don't have to watch the other show probably to watch this if it's a prequel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there you go. One user in particular said they were getting a title not available error, which customer service said they'd love to help get this figured out. Maybe they cut back on their bandwidth because it costs too much.
Yeah, because the other shows aren't getting the hits this one is.
Yeah, so here is what's going on. HBO Max reached out to Deadline with the following statement. House of the Dragon is being successfully viewed by millions of HBO Max subscribers this evening, and David Zaslav doesn't want to pay for bandwidth. Wow. We're aware of a small portion of users attempting to connect via Fire TV devices that are having issues and are in the process of resolving for those impacted users. Yeah, so let's talk about this. So the competitor to the Game of Thrones prequel, which is so weird because I actually forgot that Game of Thrones was coming back completely because you heard a lot about Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I'm not going to do the whole thing.
Please don't.
Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Well, now it's getting its ass kicked by Game of Thrones because they said that, and we talked about this before, but it's worse than even what I thought. They said it's 20 times higher, the demand, the pre-release demand, 20 times higher than The Rings of Power. So how are they going to fix that? Well, they're going to give a free screening of the first 2 episodes in theaters.
Oh, I didn't know it was free.
It's free.
Oh my God.
So you know what's going to happen, right? Social media is going to be like, look at all these people jammed into theaters to see the first 2 episodes of this shitty Tolkien knockoff show. Oh my God.
So they're going to put, well, then how are they going to get the theaters? They're going to have to pay, or there's Cinemark, so they're going to have to pay the theaters to run it for free. They'd have to, because what theaters are going to run it for free and lose money? I'm guessing
they have a deal, but they said, yeah, the Cinemark promotional free fan event is a nod to the Lord of the Rings film series by Peter Jackson, that the movie made the movie night an event for tentpole movies. Now, Star Wars did it before Lord of the Rings, but beyond that, this has nothing to do with the Peter Jackson movies. People need to realize that. Like, aesthetically, they're kind of sort of going for that, but they made it very clear that, one, they don't want anything to do with Peter Jackson because apparently they reached out to him, said, hey, Peter, do you want to look at the script? He said, sure, I'll look at it, and then they never sent anything. But for legal reasons, they can't use any of the Jackson stuff. So this is pure fan fiction. Actually, just drop it. Pure fiction.
People aren't very happy with it. And they're not happy. And another reason is they're making changes. Okay, fine. But it's another instance of where they're immediately labeling fans and doing all that, lovely crap. And that's making people like more angry and not going.
Yeah, I guess they're dropping a new trailer for Lord of the Rings tomorrow, and it was trending on Twitter. And I'm like, man, they're desperate, aren't they? Because as soon as House of the Dragon, boasts about getting 10 million viewers, they're like, hey, guys, we still exist.
We're gonna give you free in 10 days.
Give you a free preview. But yeah, I mean, we've done videos on this before. It looks like as of right now that there is not a lot of interest in the Lord of the Rings fan fiction prequel.
But that was kind of dumb about the free movie release, because when they release it on streaming, it's going to cut people that already watched it at the theater might not watch those episodes again. So that's going to cut their watch time down.
I don't know.
I don't know. To me, this seems like if they go by watch time as their metric, that seems to be kind of, counterintuitive, but okay.
It's Amazon. They can say a bunch of people watched it and there's no way
That's right. You never get to see the numbers for real. So.
Yeah, so this is the highest same-day viewership of 2022 for House of the Dragon. So apparently, they didn't completely turn people off to the franchise, but there is not much excitement around Lord of the Rings. It's interesting, though, you're seeing from the Washington Post, you've got somebody saying House of the Dragon offers Americans a new shot at common culture. And we've talked about this before, that we don't have those big event TV shows that everybody watches anymore. We just don't have it because everybody, and I think it's partially because of streaming and because of there being so many choices that we're not all sitting down on Thursday night and watching, Cheers or The Cosby Show.
When we were kids, that's what happened. It's like there were certain shows on certain nights and everybody watched them, and then everybody went and talked about it around the water cooler and all that crap. Yeah. They always said, well, the water cooler. Yeah, and they don't really do that anymore. I mean, I think Stranger Things would qualify.
I think it's pretty close.
But, you know, there's a lot of shows that just aren't. The Office was doing it and Community was doing it and things, but they weren't. I mean, it hasn't been happening for a while. And it's kind of cool to have that back.
Yeah, so hopefully the show doesn't suck. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to have to. I really was interested in it the more I heard about it. And apparently it does have George R.R. Martin's blessing, which is good. Of course, you can't get Tolkien's or Tolkien's son's blessing. And I can imagine what Christopher Tolkien would say about the Amazon show. Mm-hmm. He would not be kind. No. He would not be kind. Just as a side note, I thought this was kind of funny. Emilia Clarke, during the premiere for House of the Dragon, she was there, and the CEO of Foxtel called her a short, dumpy girl. Uh-huh. He said, "Oh my God," he said, "I was like, what's with the show with the short, dumpy girl walking into the fire?" That was his first impression of Game of Thrones. And
you know, they did apologize. The CEO didn't, but the company did on behalf of the CEO.
According to people in attendance at the event, the comments were not received in the jokey manner they were reportedly made, and attendees were cold to the remarks.
I'm sure they would. I think that's going too far.
The Foxtel Group has issued a statement apologizing for the comments. The spokesperson clarified the remarks were supposed to be jovial and lighthearted. I don't know.
What the hell is that? How is that jovial and lighthearted?
I was watching this show with this fat fuck on it, and I just couldn't understand why he was on TV.
I was just joking.
God, this woman looked like somebody had taken a baseball bat to her face.
Fat and dumpy. I'm like, you know, oh my God, it was a joke.
What's that Roseanne show with that fat bitch on it? Yeah. Hey, I was just kidding. You know, yeah. On behalf of Mr. Delaney, who couldn't be bothered to do it himself, Foxtel apologizes if his remarks were misunderstood.
The remarks are misunderstood. That bullshit, that's a joke.
Short, dumpy girl. Oh my God. Now she's she's got her quirks for sure. She tried doing comics too, and that was a
but that's not necessary.
Don't call her short and dumpy. Anyway, so there we go, guys. This is gonna be really interesting. In a couple of weeks, we're gonna see Game of Thrones go head to head with Lord of the Rings. We'll see if either one of these franchises will survive their next iteration. I don't know. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.